Evening all, how the devil? It's very rare that I'll do 2 videos in a day, but it's late at night. I was just perusing the news before I went to bed, and I come across this golden nugget of fucking crushing despair. And I'll tell you what, every day I think the world's got so nuts, I'll never be surprised again. And every day something new staggers me. This story, I'm flabbergasted that these people, these crazy, judgmental, true believers, these batty communists, I'm not just amazed at the things that they do and the things that they say, but I'm utterly astounded at the vehemence and intolerance and aggression they display, whilst still claiming they're the tolerant ones. They don't know the meaning of the word liberal. So this story, right, you probably don't, who cares about ice hockey? I certainly don't, but it's the principle of the matter, isn't it? The Arizona Coyotes have renounced the rights to top 2020 draft pick Mitchell Miller. The news comes after an Arizona Republic story revealed that he and another teen were charged with bullying a black classmate with developmental disabilities in 2016. So, alright, don't know why you have to always put the colour in there. He was a kid. But I thought at least he was, in his late teens or something. So I checked out the story. It said the Coyotes, I'm guessing they're quite a big team, are renouncing the right to draft pick Mitchell Miller after his history of assault and racism. His history of assault and racism? Yeah, like he's some sort of career Klansman who's been in and out of jail for the last 20 years. As a juvenile, was spotted in a newspaper investigation. Miller, an 18-year-old defenseman, committed to play at the University of North Dakota next season, was selected in the 4th round of the 2020 NHL draft by the Coyotes. On October 26, the Arizona Republic published an extensive expose, right, of his bullying of Isaiah Mayer Crothers, a black classmate. Oh, he's black. Well, again, obsessed with race. Like we're living in apartheid South Africa, and there's an upper caste and a lower caste, and if anyone ever picks on the upper caste, we must destroy them. He says, in junior high, I got beat up by him in junior high. So that got me thinking, so how old was he? 18 years old when he did it. I mean, 18 years old now. So in his term in 2016, a bullying incident took place in 2016. You know how old he was when he did this? I did the math quickly in my head and I was telling my missus about it over my shoulder because I was astounded. I did the math wrong and I thought he was 14. He was 13 years old because of the school year in America. 13 years old. And they said, we've learned about the entire matter because Mr. Gutierrez, who is a member of the NHL's Executive Inclusion Council, yeah, they don't sound like the fucking Stasi, do they? The Executive Inclusion Council. Like something in Stalin's fucking Russia, isn't it? We learned about the matter, and what he did does not align with our core values and vision for our organisation, so therefore we're renouncing his draft rights. So renouncing him, yeah, fucking awful. He ended up in juvenile court because he used racial slurs, physically assaulted him, and at one point tricked him into licking a candy push pop that him and another boy wiped around a urinal. So, like, again, pretty bad, but not that bad. It is stereotypical childhood bullying. And then you've just got this endless story picking on him. The wording they use, it is absolutely horrifying. The Washington Post, who just goes to show how mad the world is, because when I first moved to America 7 years ago, I used to subscribe to the Washington Post. Thought they were a decent newspaper. Won Pulitzer Prizes and all that. Unbelievable rhetoric from them. Even the headline, horrific bullying. No, gang rape is horrific. Like those grooming gangs that we ignored for 30 years. Yeah. That's horrific. Chopping somebody's head off with a machete. That's horrific. Wiping a push pop round a urinal is a bit jack, but it is a childish prank that, not the end of the world. They never use neutral language. It says the Arizona Coyotes on Thursday renounced the draft rights to defenseman Mitchell Miller, whom they had selected, even though he admitted to bullying a black developmentally disabled middle school classmate in 2016. I'm laughing because I thought that was going to be the end of the sentence, even though he admitted to bullying a black. Like, it's unbelievable. Even though he said he did something childish when he was a fucking child. A 13-year-old boy. A 13-year-old child. He called him Brownie, and he used the N-word. Yeah, not cool. And he tricked him into licking a candy that he wiped in a bathroom urinal. All harsh stuff. He should have got suspended. I mean, in England, where it's a bit more sensible, I don't think the police would have got involved. If that was my son who licked the push pop, I would go the little twat. And I'd have a word with the headmaster, but I certainly wouldn't ring the police. The police shouldn't have been involved. It was childish pranks. Yeah, out of order. But you nip that in the bud there. You give him a clip round the ear if you're his dad, and you suspend him for 5 days. That's what had happened in my school. I know for a fact that's what would have happened. These are destroying him. The inclusion committee are destroying his life over being a child. And look at some of the tweets. Look at that one I responded to. Danny Zhang. He's shown no remorse and continued to taunt the victim years after he appeared before a judge. Yeah, well, all of this is fucking hyperbolic hyperbolic nonsense. I don't see any evidence of that. Didn't say that in the news stories. It says, this isn't some boys will be boys. It's sociopathic abuse. You know, the lefties always pathologise everything now. Everything's a mental illness. You change your mind a lot, mentally ill. Or you're rude to someone, mentally ill. Everything's mental illness now. They've pathologised everything. Everyone's mental. Yeah, get on the couch. You're off your fucking box. No wonder the gulags fill up so quickly. Honestly, if you can do this shit, come out with this sociopathic shit. Because a 13-year-old kid, a child, legally a child. I mean, if you're 18, you're a kid. You realise when you're 30 that you think you know everything when you're 18 and you don't. When you're 18, you're a kid. When you're fucking 13, you're a little boy. You're a bairn. You know nothing. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. And I really mean that. You can see why the gulags fill up so quickly. If they're going to give a kid this much shit over such a trifling affair, can you imagine what they do to a middle-aged man who, broke the social justice code? Can you imagine what they'd do to you? You think they wouldn't be totally fine with locking you in chains for the rest of your life? There's a great quote it reminded me of, a fantastic quote it reminded me of. Of all tyrannies, a tyranny sincerely exercised for the good of its victims may be the most oppressive. It would be better to live under robber barons than under omnipotent moral busybodies. The robber baron's cruelty may sometimes sleep. His cupidity may at some point be satiated, but those who torment us for our own good will torment us without end, for they do so with the approval of their own conscience. That perfectly sums up what I'm talking about. A 13-year-old child being attacked by some fucking Scottish communist, calling him a sociopathic abuser. And the comments, it's just people, he should be in jail. Like, prison for being a school bully. Life ruined for being a school bully when you were a child. Legally, mentally, a little kid. It is unbelievable. And these are all the people who I always think are, left of me on crime. I'm a centrist. I'm a big believer in returning the vote to felons when they've done the time. I disagree with the right a lot on that, because I think I'm really big on the idea of reform. We can't send these people to Mars. We can't send murderers, paedophiles and rapists and murderers to Mars. You either reform them, or you lock them up forever, or you kill them. There's the three options. Of those three, two of them, not very liberal. So I think I'm pretty liberal. Unless it's something awful, i.e. raping and killing little kids like Ian Huntley, in which point I'm right-wing, and I think we should regretfully kill those people because they can never be reformed. But these twats, guys like this Danny Zan, they're the same ones who always talk about reform, justice reform, help them, help everyone. And yet you go against the social justice fucking compact when you're a little boy, and they want to destroy you utterly. Utterly. Is he a liberal? He doesn't sound like a liberal person. He sounds like he's a lot less liberal than I am. I believe in forgiveness and compassion. Doesn't sound like he does. Sounds like he's a judgmental fucking maniac. So I just thought that was despicable. And isn't that a good quote? That's why these people are terrifying. Because I'm sure even Hitler or Mussolini occasionally felt guilty. Now and then they must have thought, fucking hell, I'm an awful human being. But these people who are convinced of the moral superiority, true believers that believe in their social justice fucking creed like religious zealots of the worst kind. People like Danny Zhang, they're convinced of their own moral superiority. They're convinced that everything they're doing is right. And Danny Zhang would lock a child in prison and he would sleep like a fucking baby. Yeah, I wasn't scared of the Taliban, but I'm scared of these barmy bastards taking power. And I think we can all see why. Let me know what you think. Cheers, guys. See ya.